Warmly welcoming you to How Does She Do It, the podcast, with me, your host, Jo Ferroni. Join me on my journey as I explore finding a gentle balance in both business and life, because being kind to ourselves is our superpower. My guest this week is Phoebe Scaife, founder of Ruby Moon VA. Phoebe set up her virtual assistant company to support other business owners, enabling growth in a way that was best suited to the individual client. She is passionate about supporting her clients in the areas of their business that otherwise feel daunting or prevent them from achieving their goals. Phoebe's encouraging and supportive persona allows her to assist her clients and enable them to push through barriers and drive their businesses forward. I love that I met Phoebe at a How Does She Do It networking event before she even started her business, and we talk about that more in our conversation. Now I'm lucky enough to have her supporting me in my business. I don't know what I would do without her. If you're in a position where you're perhaps overwhelmed in your business and don't know what to do next, or there are things that you simply don't know how to do, please check out Phoebe's website and social media that I've shared for you in the show notes to learn more about how she can help you. Hello, Phoebe. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good, thank you.
Lovely to see you. Thank you for coming to the podcast for a chat today. I've been really looking forward to it and can't wait to hear what we get to talk about.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
So, where shall we begin? I think it would be really great before we get into me asking you some questions, if you could just tell our lovely listeners a little bit about Ruby Moon VA.
So, my business is as a virtual assistant, and I like to help business owners automate their business so that they have more time and their customer journeys run more smoothly. And I like to say that I offer support with a smile.
I love that. That speaks to me for sure. I think that so many people go into business doing the thing that they absolutely love doing, their passion, the thing that really drives them. But things crop up, don't they, when you're running a business that we don't all have that knowledge of. So I think to have an expert like yourself to come in and to hoover up all of those huge question marks and challenges because you're the expert in that area, I just think that's an absolute blessing for us business owners. So I'm sure you managed to put a smile on many business people's faces as well. So
thank you. Well, anything to take the stress, and it can get so confusing, and when you're not using something every day, it takes a lot longer and a lot of time and energy.
You save so much time and headaches, I should think.
Yes.
As well as many other things for these business owners. So I just think it's wonderful. Well done you.
Thank you.
So as you know, I wanted to speak to you about a few things today, but the main thing that I wanted to talk to you about was an observation that I made a few years ago, and that was you stepping out of your comfort zone in such a monumental way that even though we are many years down the line now, I still remember it so clearly. And that was when you came to one of my networking events in Guildford, and you arrived for the first time, and I actually think you asked me if it was okay that you were coming, even though you didn't have a business yet.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And you also arrived with your baby. I remember your lovely little Bubba over your arm as you had struggled your way up to find the lift and work your way up to the first floor. It must have been quite a big step for you to come along to that first networking event. And I wonder if you could tell us how it felt for you.
Yeah, definitely. It was a strange feeling. Like you say, it was my youngest and he was 3.5 months old. And after he was born, I'd made the decision that I didn't want to go back to work. It didn't work for us. And I knew I needed to do something, and I'd heard about virtual assistants a few years before, but the time was never right. And I thought, this is the time. And going to that first meeting, it was so strange. Doing something that's kind of work related, but I had Freddie with me, and it felt strange, but it was also really exciting, and it felt like the next step in my career, in life, and just being able to turn up, not knowing really what I was doing, but just kind of winging it a little bit.
I love that. And can I just sort of rewind a minute? You obviously decided, right, the time is now. I'm just going to go for it. Were you in any way scared or fearful about making this step? Or was it just pure excitement and liberating? I'm going to go for it.
I was terrified.
I am not surprised at all. I mean, I was terrified at my first networking event as well, but I had started a business at that point, and I believe that my youngest was safely in preschool or something like that day. You know, I didn't take him along with me because, well, I'll tell you why I didn't take him along with me, because there wasn't the option to bring a child. And that is actually why I started How Does She Do It networking, because I wanted it to be accessible for people just like you. So you bit the bullet, you came to the event. How did it feel as you walked in?
I made sure I arrived early. I'm one of these people who likes to plan and know kind of where I need to be and get there early enough so that my biggest fear is being late or something like, especially something like this, where I didn't know anyone and didn't know what to expect. But once I arrived and I met you and I started to chat to some of the other women there, everything just, the fear just went. And it was just comforting to know that everyone was so friendly and welcoming, and it didn't matter that I had Freddie with me or didn't have a business. I just felt so welcomed, and people wanting to help as well and offering advice if I needed it, and it just put everything at ease. And it was just that first step to starting a business.
I love that. There are a few things that you've said there that I'm going to try and pick up on. And I think that the first one is, you said that the fear just evaporated, disappeared. That's magical, isn't it? Because fear can be something that holds us back. So we could choose not to do a thing because the fear is too overwhelming. But if you hadn't have pushed through that, you wouldn't have got to meet those wonderful women, to have that realization that there are some very supportive people out there, and there's no right or wrong with going to an event like that. All that could have come from it really was positivity. And I love that you relaxed into it. And I remember that Freddie was just novel and wonderful to have. I mean, I don't remember if we had any other toddlers or babies there that day, but, you know, to have a baby there so young was, you know, I think we were all impressed that you got out of the house, because many of us with 3-month-olds would not even be able to get out of the house, let alone go and present ourselves at an event like that. So I was in complete and utter awe of you for doing it. And I thought you were really brilliant to come along. And so obviously a few years have passed since then. How did you obviously came back to a future event or two, or a few more than that, which was wonderful. We've been absolutely blessed to have you as a really regular member of the How Does She Do It community. How did you go from turning up at an event you'd never been to without a business and with a baby to where you are today? Was it a gradual process?
Yes. So I kind of made the decision early on that it would be a gradual process as the boys grew up. So I've got 2 boys, and I wanted to grow the business as they went to nursery more or went to school. And I didn't want to rush it, especially because Freddie was young and I didn't want to add more pressure on. And I didn't want to rush into it. It was new to me and I wanted to take the time to do it gradually. And I've been in business 3 years now. And now is the time when I'm looking to grow it even more to become, I suppose, full time. Whereas I've always had Freddie in nursery a few days a week, or school holidays coming up, lockdowns.
Yes.
It's been such gradual things that now I feel ready to. My business has also changed as well. Throughout that time, I was going into it, setting up a business with a lot of PA background, but not VA. And they're so different in so many ways that when I first started, I offered services. I've realised now that those services weren't right for me. So I've changed them as well. And just learning more and finding out what I enjoy and what I can offer clients.
I love that. So an organic growth. And from what I hear and what I've witnessed as well, I just know that it was a way of you building a really firm foundation for your business, actually. And I love the fact that you felt that by taking that time and by probably constantly reassessing, actually, as the boys changed their needs, if you like, or their time they needed to be with you, and as you evolved with the clients that you were working with, you were then in a position to really look, I guess, from the outside in and go, actually, do you know what? This one isn't serving me. Offering this service is something that I did because perhaps I thought that was what VAs had to do, but this one isn't for me, but something else is something I'm really strong in and really enjoying. So I'm going to focus more on that. I just think that's really, really brilliant, because you have continued to not only grow your business, but shape your business to really work most beautifully for yourself and for your clients.
Yes. And also I think I've always been different to people around me, and I work in a very different way, I think, to some people. And I wanted my business to be part of me and not like anyone else, and just to be able to stand out a little bit, that I'm not the typical VA or something like that. Like some people, when you say you're a VA, they automatically have thoughts, right, you do that in that way.
Yeah, putting you in a box.
Yes.
But with you, I don't think there is a one size fits all approach, is there, in terms of the way you work for the different clients and the things that you do as well. You know, you do what works for you and your clients most harmoniously, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. You've mentioned your boys, obviously, and I love that you talk about the fact that your business is so a part of you, and that you stand firmly in your, you're grounded, you know what you offer and you know what your abilities are. And I think you also know your boundaries as well. And I think as parents, it's really important that we not only know our boundaries, but stick to our boundaries as well. And of course, these things change as our situation changes and as children grow up as well. So how are you finding fitting work around your boys, and how has it adapted as they've grown older? Is one of the main things that you've now got more time to spend on your business, or are there any other things?
It's a difficult one. So before I set up my business, before I had children, actually,
Mm-hmm.
I was very routine led, and everything in life kind of happened as it happened, and how I planned it, that's how I like to work. And at work I would have certain things at certain times. Since children and setting up my own business, I've become a lot more flexible. So when they are at school, my favorite time to work is the mornings. And that's not because I have to pick them up in the afternoon. It's just that is my optimum time for work. When they're around in the holidays, I then flip it. So my afternoon is my work, and the mornings I try to spend with the boys. And I think that just, it works for us. And it seems to fit in with how we all work together. I try to keep my business and my boys separate, so I prefer not to have them involved in anything in my work. I don't like to talk about them around my business. I try to keep them separate, as separate parts of my life, although I always talk about them if people ask. But I prefer to kind of have some sort of line between work and family.
I think that's really important, Phoebe. And I think it also ties in really well with, we've been told, haven't we, over the years, many years, multitasking was the thing. But actually, in recent times, single tasking has become a much more productive and efficient way of working. And I think that you can almost apply that to exactly what you've just talked about there. When you're working on your business, you are working on your business. Your blinkers are on, and you are being, as productive and creative for your clients as possible. And when you are with the children, you are a present parent who is there with all her energy and all of her excitement and, creativity and vibes for the children. And I actually think that's really important to keep us properly energized as well, because I have certainly, I'd say with the pandemic in the beginning, when we had our first lockdown, I felt incredibly torn when I was with the boys. I was worried that I wasn't there on hand for my clients. And at the same time, when I was doing client sessions, I was feeling very much a pull. Oh, should I be with the boys? And that's no way to, I wasn't able to sustain that. And that's why I put a pause on the business during the lockdown, because being pulled away from what we're working on is really difficult, actually, really tricky. And I think that the way that you have made this decision to work in the way that you are means that everyone wins.
Yes. And I think they understand that as well. They understand, they've grown up with me running my business, so they understand that I have to work. And I want them to see that I'm achieving something I never dreamt I'd ever achieve. I never thought I'd have my own business. But they can see that I'm doing this, and this is what I need to do. And then when we're together, we can do whatever they want to do. And be honest with them about work. If I'm busy at work, then we talk about it. I just need to do this. Okay. And then, of course, it doesn't always run smoothly.
No, not at all. But I think vocalizing it and letting them know what's happening is really important. And I got goosebumps when you were talking about that just now. I think the beautiful way that we can inspire our children, I think there's a ripple effect, actually, that when we're doing something that is a big deal for us and we're really proud of ourselves, they can see that. They can witness that you are not only an amazing mum to them, but you are doing something for yourself as well. And you're making it work. And I think that that's a wonderful lesson for them to be living throughout their life, like you say, since they were very, very young.
Yes. And also, I think, because I really struggled at school, and I found it very hard, and I did a dyslexia test when I was quite young, and it picked up dyslexia in certain areas. And to get through school was really tough, but then to come out the other side and to be able to have the career I've had and to now have my business, I can show them that if it is hard, you can work around it and find your own way around working and school and what works best for you.
I love that. That's really huge. Anything is possible, isn't it?
Yes.
And no one should ever tell us that we can't do something, because there's always a way. Like you said, there's always a way around it. Oh, I love that. Absolutely love that. And I wonder whether I might just go back to the stepping out of your comfort zone quickly, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking about how much you've shown to the boys that you can achieve. And like I say, I think you're teaching them lessons. I think you also have pushed out of your comfort zone a lot with your exercise and your running as well. And I think that has really been another very important part of your life, as well as being a mum and a business owner, would you say?
Yes, definitely. But since having children, before I had children, I didn't like running.
Oh, okay. So something changed.
Yes. And I think it was a lot of mental health support, struggling. I struggled to find myself again after having children.
Yeah.
And I just didn't feel like me.
I think that a lot of people will hear you say that and be nodding with you right now. It's so hard, isn't it?
Yeah. You then become you're just so-and-so's mum in the playground. And then, so I think that's where I feel myself again. And I've always loved sport. I always played sport at school. So running now, and I was having a chat with Barney this morning, and we were chatting about feeling sad and when you feel happy, and he asked what I do when I feel sad, which surprised me.
Wow.
And I thought, that's interesting. And I said, well, I like to run. And he says, oh, yes, you do run. And I said, so if I feel sad, then I'll go for a run. But if I feel happy, I can still go for a run. It doesn't matter. It just helps me feel better.
That's insightful. My goodness, how amazing that he asked that question, and how wonderful that you could give him that brilliant answer as well.
Yes.
I think you know, the fact that you're around for your children to ask you those questions must feel really good as well.
It does. And it's nice. So our school run, we've moved recently, and our school run's a lot longer than it used to be. And it gives us a lot of time to chat about things like that and just life.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely love that. I wanted to ask you, if you had to choose two things, okay, what is the toughest thing and what is the best thing about working for yourself? And as you know, here on the podcast, we're all about being open and honest. So what's the one toughest thing, would you say, about working for yourself?
I think it's being on your own. I'm lucky enough to be on your mastermind. And I've mentioned before that having a group that you can have kind of with you on the journey and for accountability, but also just to kind of sound ideas. Sometimes you think of these ideas that you would love to do, but you're kind of like, well, am I just thinking of something that's not going to help people, or just not really going to work? Or is it just a bit out there? And I found that really hard. I miss the office kind of just bouncing ideas off with the person next to you.
Yeah. And the water cooler moments.
Yes.
Where it could just be so incidental, couldn't it? The conversation could be so fleeting, but it has been a connection with someone. And I feel that as well, actually. I didn't know what your answer was going to be to that question. And as you said it, I'm getting goosebumps again because I think I'm resonating with it. And I love that you're finding the mastermind a great source of support, because actually we're all in the same boat, aren't we? We might be
Yes.
running completely different businesses, have completely different home life. We might be a parent, we might not be a parent, it doesn't matter. But that connection and that support from others is something that I think can really enable us to feel less lonely in our businesses.
Absolutely. And I think through networking and just the past 3 years, building friendships and relationships and people that you can go to when things feel tough or you're stuck in a bit of a rut, and people support you, but also you can help other people in those situations as well.
Yeah, it's so special. Oh, thank you for sharing that. That's really, really resonated with me. And what about the best thing?
Oh, it's this difficult one. There's lots of things, I think. The biggest one for me at the moment is a sense of achievement. And looking back at how far I've come, not just with my business, but as a person as well, from having a business and building the business. And I think it's funny, I think about interviews and what I could say in an interview if I went for a PA role now. And it's just so much. I feel I've learned throughout the whole process, and I keep learning.
I love that. Yeah, it was cruel of me to ask you to choose just one thing, but how wonderful that you have got many great positives that have come from your experience so far. I absolutely love that. Thank you. Okay, so at the end of each conversation I have here on the podcast, I like to ask one question. And I still haven't quite got it down. I should have a really lovely, succinct question. But I apologise, I haven't yet. I'm sure I will get there in the end. But as you know, the name of the business is How Does She Do It? Because I believe that she doesn't do it all. Can you tell me what you do or don't do? And it could be either or it could be both, to remain on track and healthy and happy.
So I think for this one, aside from running, it's gardening. I love being outdoors.
I didn't know that. I know you do it with your boys, actually. So I did know that. And what's gardening for you then?
I think it's somewhere I can just go. I can be creative. I can forget about everything else because I concentrate on what I'm doing. And it's a challenge. I love a challenge. And our new house, the garden is bare. So it's a blank canvas and I'm loving it. And just different areas of it. And like you said, the boys come with me and I introduce them to different parts of gardening, and growing our own vegetables is important. I grew up with my parents growing our vegetables, and I think it's important for them to learn where the food comes from and seasonal foods and how everything grows as well. Or they are a bit impatient at the moment.
Well, they are young. That's okay.
They are, yes. They check the seeds every day. So
but what a learning for them as well. That just sounds like, this was, what do you make sure you do to keep yourself on track? But the beautiful thing is, it's another ripple effect, isn't it? You're doing this for yourself, but it is having a beautiful effect on the boys and, the family as a whole as well. So it's just a win-win situation. I love that.
Definitely. And I think there's so much that everyone in the family can do something in the garden. you can all do your own things, and we all have our different areas, and it's nice to be together, but we're not on top of each other. We're not necessarily doing everything together, but
Yeah,
you're just there.
I love that. I love that. And when they are at school and you choose to have a bit of a potter in the garden for a bit of relaxation, you can do that as well.
Yes, exactly.
I love it. Love it. I've really loved learning new things about you today, which is always great. I think that everything you've shared has definitely been of help to our listeners. And I'm really grateful that you took time out of your day to come and have a little chat with me. And I've really enjoyed it. Is there anything you'd like to share with our audience before we close today? Have you got anything coming up at all, or where is the best place that they can track you down online?
I think the best place to track down is on my website, rubymoonva.com. And going on at the moment, I think I'm just looking forward to getting back to some face-to-face sessions with clients and just being with them in person, because everything, like most people, has been online, and just getting back to connecting in person. And I feel that's the best way to work with people, is being with them. And sometimes I work in offices with them, and it's just so different, and I can't wait to get back to it.
I love that. What a treat it's going to be getting back into that in-person experience. And I'm really glad you said that, actually, because with your business name, people might think that you're only doing things online because you're a virtual assistant. But I think it's brilliant you've just mentioned that, so people know that there is the opportunity to work with you face to face as well, and really get so much out of the value that you offer. Well, thank you so much for coming. I will make sure that we pop your links for the website and also your social media in the show notes today. And I just want to give you a massive thank you, and really look forward to seeing you in person sometime soon. Oh my gosh, that will be a treat, and wish you a wonderful rest of the week ahead. Thank you so much for listening today. I really hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, I'd love you to take a moment to share and subscribe too. Come and join me over at How Does She Do It Life on both Facebook and Instagram. And until we speak again, I wish you a wonderful week ahead.